BurgerKing.ky for the registration link today.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Friday, the first day of March 2024, right here in the Cayman Islands. Yes, folks, we're into March already. Of course, yesterday was the 29th of February, a date that comes around only once every 4 years. And we'll talk about that a little bit, give you a little history of that when time allows as well. Meanwhile, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines were open. Radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal, waiting to take your calls this morning. You can call us on our landline 949-6990 and our WhatsApp number 925-3261. Those two numbers are the ones that are operational at this point in time. You can also follow us on YouTube. You do that by simply subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream as well. Those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a belated happy birthday. And to remind you that this segment of the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, they're proud to support your birthday shout-out. Coca-Cola is available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. The birthday shout-outs are also brought to you by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call them on 949-9570 or 525-9571. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you. We want to extend special, sincere condolences to the family of the late Nicola Solomon, who unfortunately passed away on Wednesday. So her biological family, her entire family, we want to extend sincere condolences to them, as well as her family with Customs and Border Control as well. Huge family there. Nicola's tenure with the Cayman Islands government, and in particular starting with the Immigration Department, has been several years. She certainly will be missed, and again we want to extend our sincere condolences to her family as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. And again, want to give a special shout out to Mr. George Gillette. Looking forward to him returning home as well, and looking forward to hear from him as soon as he returns as well. So first of all, folks, let us look at the birthdays this morning. And again, to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-out. Coca-Cola is available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. Let's look at the birthday shout-outs for today. And we will start today. Isis Reyes, celebrating a birthday today. Isis Reyes. We also have Mr. Lester Timothy, celebrating his birthday today. Leslie Wilson, Shay Young, Lindsay Japal, and Monica Walton, all celebrating birthdays today. So let's repeat those. Monica Walton, Lindsay Japal, Shay Young, Leslie Wilson, and Mr. Lester Timothy celebrating a birthday today. We want to wish them a happy birthday as well. And then we see tomorrow, the 2nd of March, Miss Carol Jackson will be celebrating her birthday, as well as Miss Brenda Archer and Miss Greta Tatum. So we want to wish them again a happy birthday in advance. They will be celebrating their birthday tomorrow. Then on Sunday, we have Miss Rosa Harris celebrating her birthday, and Mr. Jason, I'm not sure if they pronounce it Gilbert or Jobert, but he is celebrating his birthday on Sunday as well. I think I've covered all of them, Paul. Any more? We've covered all of them. So those who are celebrating a birthday today, we wish you a happy birthday. Those celebrating their birthday, and the person that's celebrating their birthday today, Miss Isis Reyes, as well as Mr. Lester Timothy, Leslie Wilson, Shay Young, Lindsay Japal, and Monica Watson. And then tomorrow, Carol Jackson, Brenda Archer, Greta Tatum. Sunday, Miss Rosa Harris and Mr. Jason Gilbert as well. So we want to wish everyone, we say to you again, whatever you do to celebrate your birthday, please make sure you do it in moderation as well. And we are extremely grateful and thankful to our sponsors for this segment, the birthday shout-outs. They are Coca-Cola, who are proud to be or to support our birthday shout-out. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And also by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call them on 949-9570 or 525-9571. Let's take the first commercial break, folks. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Royal James Anderson, 1923-1991.
Royal Anderson was born in Jamaica and came to Grand Cayman at the age of 3 with his parents, Isaiah and Oriana Anderson. He served in the Home Guard during World War II and spent some time at sea with national bulk carriers. In 1950, he married Garnell Frederick, with whom he had 7 children. He joined the Cayman Islands Police Force in 1953 as a constable and later rose to the position of inspector. Royal retired in 1976 and a year later was given the Colonial Police Long Service and Good Conduct Award. He joined Cayman Airways as store inventory controller, moving after 2 years to the security guards force at Owen Roberts Airport, where he remained until 1984. He then was hired as security guard at the Government Administration Building, where he worked until his death. He loved to sing and was an active member of the Bordentown United Church.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Health Check, Saturday, March 2, 10 a.m. through 2 p.m. 5 locations: Cost You Less West Bay Road, A.L. Thompson's Georgetown, Savannah United Church Hall, Foster's Airport, and the East End Civic Center. Free blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, hemoglobin, mouth cancer screenings, healthy weight assessment, free medical consultations. Rotary Central, creating hope in the world.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacist will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
You don't need to be great to start, but you sure do need to start to be great. We've all been there. The little put when we try to start the car. Starters and alternators will eventually go. When life happens to your car, Superior Auto can save your day. Superior Auto offers complete starter and alternator repair. Superior Auto, 525-9571 or 949-9570. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Tortuga is giving you the chance to win big with its Treasure to 10K giveaway. Spend $25 in store or online from now until April 5th for a chance to win a grand prize of $10,000 cash, plus $1,500 of Tortuga vouchers and some fantastic weekly giveaways. It's all part of Tortuga's big 40th anniversary celebrations. Visit any Tortuga retail or discount store or shop online at tortuga.ky to enter.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Live in Grand Cayman, One Love Concert Series presents One Love Legends of Reggae with the living legend himself, Ernie Smith. Saturday, March 2nd at Coral Beach, featuring artist Mr. Notch with Local Motion and Juggling by Sound Revolution. Purchase your tickets at eventpro.ky. Gates open at 6 p.m. Thanks to our sponsors, Cayman Airways, Caymanian Time, Bacardi, DOT, Ministry of Culture, Coca-Cola, Hello Cayman, and Youngblood Productions. Legends of Reggae, live in Grand Cayman, Saturday, March 2nd at Coral Beach, 6 p.m. Don't miss out on a living legend live here in Cayman.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before I engage in a little trivia about leap years, we have some more birthday greetings. Miss Brenda Archer wants to wish her niece, Leslie Wilson, who's celebrating a birthday today, and I think we called her name earlier. She wants to wish her a happy birthday. Also to Carol Jackson, Kurt Tibbetts, Michaela Wilson, and Lloyd Sampson, who is celebrating their birthdays tomorrow. And then Lord Graham want to send birthday greetings to Miss Carol Jackson for her birthday tomorrow as well. And of course, Miss Carol Jackson is also one of Lord Graham's right-hand persons at his house when he, on his weekly Friday cookouts, she is his right hand there. Oh, and by the way, Lord Graham, if you're listening, the staff of Radio Cayman, and I'll tell you, Paul is one of them, says you need to send some food into staff of Radio Cayman as well. I know delivery is very difficult, for you, but anyone coming Radio Cayman's direction, you can send, some food to some of the staff here. And we know what the menu is today, I believe. Let me look and see what's on there. We will look and see what is on the menu. While I'm hunting that down, let's engage in some trivia about leap years. And of course, we know yesterday, the 29th of February, was a leap year. So a leap year is defined as a calendar year that contains an additional day compared to a common year. The 366th day is added to keep the calendar year synchronized with the astronomical year or the seasonal year. It is also referred to as the 13th month as well. So it's also referred to as the 13th month. Should we look at the list of leap years? Let's see if I can find that for you. That's taken a little bit longer to do the search on that. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, having some difficulty in terms of opening that tab. So let's go to something else. For the Canadians out there today, we want to extend our condolences to the Canadians here in the Cayman Islands, or if you're listening anywhere anywhere else. The former Canadian Prime Minister, Brian Mulroney, he passed away at the age of 84. And there's an article, BBC News, that former Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, who led his country from 1984 to 1993, that would be 9 years, has died at the age of 84. The Conservative leader, the 18th Prime Minister of Canada's history, passed away peacefully, surrounded by family. His daughter pointed out online. Mulroney led Canada through the closing days of the Cold War and forged a free trade agreement with the United States. And of course, you know, the United States has its northern border with Canada, its southern border with Mexico. And when you're bordering countries, it's extremely important for you to have close relations and good relations with those countries. And of course, the relationship between Canada and the United States is probably one of the best in the world. Current Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that he was devastated to learn of Mulroney's death. He pointed out that he never stopped working for Canada, and he always sought to make this country an even better place to call home. Mr. Trudeau posted on X, which is, of course, formerly known as Twitter. He goes on to say, "I'll never forget the insights he shared with me over the years. He was generous, tireless, and incredibly passionate." Mr. Trudeau also asked the public to also acknowledge and celebrate Mr. Mulroney's role in building the modern, dynamic, and prosperous country we all know today. Mulroney was born in a blue-collar paper mill town in northeastern Quebec. Mulroney began his career as a lawyer and business executive before taking over as leader of the Progressive Conservative Party and becoming Prime Minister. In 1974, he was tapped to participate in a commission to investigate the James Bay hydroelectric project, helping to author a bombshell report that described organized criminal infiltration of labor unions involved in the project. In 1983, Mulroney won a parliamentary seat in Nova Scotia and became the leader of the Conservatives. He took office as Prime Minister in 1984, taking over from the Liberal Party's Pierre Trudeau. He handily won re-election in 1988. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation on Thursday described Mulroney as a gifted public speaker, one of the country's most controversial prime ministers, and unafraid to tackle the most challenging issues of his era. His followers often compared him to the United States President at the time, Ronald Reagan. The two leaders bonded over their shared Irish ancestry, at one point singing a duet together of the song Irish Eyes Are Smiling at a meeting dubbed the Shamrock Summit. His stewardship of the economy was the most controversial part of his tenure in office. Amongst the measures he passed, the most significant was the North American Free Trade Agreement, known as NAFTA, between Mexico and the United States. The agreement helped boost the country's exports, but he also privatized several crown holdings, including the airline Air Canada, and created Canada's Goods and Services Tax, which overhauled the country's tax system. The move was intensely unpopular amongst Canadians. In 2015, he defended the many reforms that he pushed through in an interview with the BBC News. NAFTA, he said, gave Canada a new lease on economic life, and his government's tax measures have, and I quote, had an extremely beneficial impact on the economy. Internationally, he pushed for Reagan to sign a treaty to curb acid rain and an agreement to modernize Canada's air defense system. He also took a vocal stance against apartheid in South Africa. Whether one agrees with our solutions or not, none will accuse us of having chosen to evade our responsibilities by sidestepping the most controversial issues of our time, Mulroney said in his 1993 resignation address. I've done the very best for my country and my party. After leaving office, it was revealed that he had received the large sums of cash from an arms dealer and lobbyist, although he insisted not during his time in office. The money given to him by Catherine's Schreiber, which was revealed amidst a large kickback scandal he described as an error of judgment. My second biggest mistake in life, for which I have no one to blame but myself, is having accepted payments in cash from Catherine. He said that in 2007. My biggest mistake in life, by far, was ever agreeing to be introduced to Catherine in the first place. Mulroney and his wife had 4 children. His daughter Caroline is now a politician in Ontario, while his son, Ben, is a well-known television presenter in Canada. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Somewhere between 8:15 and onwards, we are going to have a guest in the studio. I won't tell you who that guest is. You have to remain tuned into Radio Cayman to be introduced or have the guest be introduced to you as well. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
When you're on the go, let the Island Supermarket shop for you.
To start, head to fosters.ky/go.
Then shop all your favorite products online, from produce and seafood to grocery and frozen, all picked by our team of shoppers ready to go.
Choose next day curbside pickup from Foster's Camana Bay or delivery island-wide.
To get your order started, visit fosters.ky/go.
This is groceries on the go.
And we are Foster's Go. Shop online anytime.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. OFREG is taking a look at intermittent flow mobile service issues. It's requested information from the telecoms company about potential issues related to intermittent drop calls or degraded signal reception, as well as the work being done to fix them. There's no information yet to indicate that the calls are impacting 911, but the regulator says it's making further inquiries. The figures for 2023 show that local economic activity grew by more than 3% in the first half of the year. According to the recently published Semi-Annual Economic Report 2023, the 3.6% spike in gross domestic product was primarily driven by increased output in the hotels and restaurant sector, which spiked nearly 26%, the transport, storage, and communication sector up by 7.1%, and the electricity and water supply sector up by 8.6%. According to the report, the financing and insurance services sector, which remains the largest contributor to gross domestic product, grew by an estimated 2.6% in the first half of 2023. The central government recorded an overall surplus of $145.4 million, which resulted from revenue of $656 million and expenditure of just over $494 million. Central government's outstanding debt at the time fell to $477 million in June, which the ESO report says was more than 10% lower than the $534 million recorded in June 2022. For more information, you can head to eso.ky. Students are taking to the streets this hour in support of the National Drug Council's National Drug and Alcohol Facts Month Anti-Vape March. The event, organized by the staff and youth-to-youth students of Cayman Academy, hopes to raise awareness about the dangers of vaping among Cayman's youth and advocate for healthier lifestyles. The route for this hour's march takes kids from Cayman Academy up to Memorial Drive, Waterfront Bayshore Mall, Walkers Road, and then to King's Seventh-day Adventist. Following the march, there will be a program held at the church from 9 a.m. until 10. And it's officially Honoring Women Month, with 2024 marking 25 years of local observations. CIG-TV's Simon Boxall has more.
To mark the momentous anniversary, the Family Resource Center, under the Department of Counseling Services, has planned several events to highlight women's accomplishments while addressing the gender-specific issues affecting them. Speaking about International Women's Day, clinical supervisor for the Family Resource Center, Charmaine Miller, shared on the theme.
#Inspire Inclusion invites us all to inspire others to understand and value women's inclusion as a proactive way to forge a better world. All women, independently of our race, class, nationality, gender identity, disability, or beliefs, deserve to have a voice and be included as a way to ensure that they belong, that they feel relevant and empowered, so that they can contribute to their families, communities, and the country as a whole.
This year's event calendar is jam-packed with numerous activities and features some additional events in light of the 25th anniversary celebration. New events include the first ever International Women's Day Gala, which will be hosted at the Kimpton Seafire Resort on March 8th. The evening will feature the return of equality consultant and keynote speaker Desiree Phillips. Another new event this year is the Women in Agriculture workshop and women-led farmers market on March 22nd. This event will highlight the often overlooked yet critical role that women can play in agriculture and farming. Judy Seymour, Director of Counseling Services, shared with CIG-TV on the activities.
As part of the global effort to help women and girls make more informed decisions about their health and their bodies, this year's Honoring Women Month's efforts will also include the delivery of comprehensive sexual education programs that provide young people with accurate, age-appropriate information about sexuality and sexual and reproductive health. Inspiring inclusion also means creating the opportunities for awareness, education, and discussion, and that is exactly what our team is doing.
Lastly, a series of 3 workshops have been added to the month-long agenda of events, and they are entitled Setting the Stage for Equity, Reimagining Self-Care, and also Working with the Tapestry of Identity and Experience. All sessions are open to the public and free of cost, though pre-registration is required. The full list of events can be found on www.frc.gov.ky.
I'm Karsley Fuller.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
You don't sound too good there, Bobo.
Yeah, you know how it is. With the kids back in school, every other week they come in now with something, and then I catch it.
Sound like it gets you, but for real, brother, flu season is here and COVID is still around. You gotta stock up on things like medicine, vitamins, and minerals for you and the kids. You know what they say, prevention is better than cure.
At ValueMed, our pharmacists can help manage flu symptoms and provide guidance on vitamins and minerals to best support you and your family's overall health. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown, or WhatsApp your questions and prescription refills to ValueMed on Walkers Road at 926-1662, or WhatsApp ValueMed in Boddentown at 916-5511. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
CUC Advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Sunday, March 3rd between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. for Watlers Road and portions of Helling Drive in Georgetown. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I go in flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your latest weather compliments of our friends at CG Britcay. Present temperature now 82 degrees Fahrenheit. It's partly sunny on the outside. Last night's low temperature was at 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds out at east 8 miles per hour. Relative humidity 86%. The barometric pressure is at 30.06 and dropping. Moderate easterly winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next couple of days as a ridge of high pressure lingers over the Caribbean Sea. So our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 or 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Looking at later on this evening, partly cloudy skies, 30% chance of the late night shower. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be east at 10 or 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're in a low tide. High tide will be coming up at 12:03 this afternoon and low by 7:10 this evening. The outlook is for light easterly winds and slight seas from Saturday evening as the ridge of high pressure moves north of the Caribbean. And that, my friends, is your latest weather update.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Hey Bobo, have you taken the pledge?
What pledge?
The Safe Drivers Pledge, to show your dedication to fostering a culture of responsible driving. Some of the accidents we have in Cayman could have been avoided simply by drivers being more vigilant behind the wheel.
You're right, Our actions behind the wheel can have serious consequences. Everyone should make a commitment to drive safely. Where can I take the pledge?
Visit gov.ky/road safety/pledge.
Thanks. I'll tell others to take the pledge too.
Let's make our roads safer together and say no more for 2024. Visit www.gov.ky/road safety for more information and to take the pledge.
Once again, good morning to my friends. Let's take a look at the traffic. Still got a lot of traffic along the Linford-Pearson Highway, similar along Crew Road and going through South Sound. Those going through South Sound, turning up Walker's Road, will experience some slow-moving traffic as well. I expect about 10 15 minutes, maybe more of traffic delays for those traversing along South Sound, along Linford-Pearson as well. Similar along Crew Road, Bobby Thompson Way, seeing congestion. Of course, once getting on Huldah Avenue and trying to get to the inner streets, slowly starts to spread out. Eastern Avenue, seeing, of course, some light traffic, similar with traffic along Godfrey-Nixon Way. And, of course, at the Butterfield roundabout as well, we'll be experiencing the traffic in that area. Looking down from the Ritz-Carlton, seeing traffic flowing smoothly into the Georgetown area. Some of the traffic flowing out of Georgetown as well. Getting back into Georgetown area, Seafarers Way, North Church Street, of course, seeing some moderate traffic. And of course, one cruise ship is in port, so we will have lots of pedestrian movement as well. Cayman Brack and Little Cayman seeing some light traffic this time of the morning. Of course, traffic is going to build up again during the lunchtime hour. Of course, we'll have another traffic report for you then. So enjoy the ride while you make your way into the Georgetown area. Those of you heading out of the Georgetown area, north side, east end, drive safely, all right? That's your latest traffic report.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That, unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
This is Eliane Powery, Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2023. I am concerned that our beloved islands are at a high risk of losing plants and animals that are only found here. Warmer temperatures, drought, and other changes are harming our unique species and the habitats they depend on. Losing biodiversity means losing the benefits that nature provides, like clean air and water. To learn more about the climate risk to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Remind you our phone lines are open. 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261, email talktooc@gmail.com. Just want to say something and to remind our listeners. I've repeated this more than once, but it is worth repeating that while we are a talk show, we are also sponsored, so we have obligations to our sponsors. Normally, we have commercial breaks every 15 minutes. Depending on when you call in and whether or not there are other persons on hold, that will determine the flexibility that I may have in terms of allowing you to continue to talk. Now, some people talk and have lots to say, and they're able to say it in very few words. And then you have some people who don't have a lot to say, but use up a lot of words to say that as well. repeating themselves and everything. We're not all perfect. We're not all made alike. So that is understood. But for me, as a moderator of the show, it is important for me to keep things under control because we have a duty. I have a duty to management, and management and we have a duty to our sponsors as well. There are many of you who, when you call in, you are cognizant of the times when we go to a commercial break, and some of you may even say, well, I know you have to go to a commercial break. Can I hold on? Or we may ask you to hold on as well. So yes, we treat people differently, but it could be for various reasons, because of the time constraints, because of, what they're saying and the significance, of it as well. We just ask you to bear with us because there's a time constraint in terms of the length of the show as well as the commercial breaks that we have to take. Of course, if you are listening to the show continuously, you know when people are calling in and when they're not calling in. If you want to talk long, call in when there's no very little activity on the radio in terms of the phone lines, and I have indicated that the phone lines are open. Those are the people that got to talk longer if there's no one waiting behind them as well. We do have a caller now, and we're going to take that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
You see, I know when to call.
Smart man. But before you go, well, you want to announce the menu or should I announce it? I want to read it because
all up to you.
Yeah, because you have a little bit of humor in it as well. So the menu.
I know you could probably put it out there with your sense of humor.
So the menu plan for today, Friday, the 1st of March, 12 noon, fried barracuda. And my question there, has it been tested? You can answer that later. Salt, beef, and beans. You don't need to test that. Conch stew. Big smiley, not from the marine park. Stew turtle, and don't get any ideas. It's not from one from the wild. And then, of course, Lord Graham has expressed his regrets for the inconvenience that may have been caused the last 2 Fridays because he tried to get Mr. Ivan at Cayman Airways to send Cayman Airways to collect him. But, of course, his demand was a little bit too personal. You remember now, you're not our national hero. You're not our national hero. He said he wanted 2 Easterner pilots and a mechanic to operate the MAX 8, and they couldn't fulfill all of that, so they couldn't send the aircraft for him. Did I get that all right, Lord Graham?
Oh, you got that. Yeah, a little sense of humor. I'm not going to take up too much of time because you might have to go to a commercial. And for all those people who complain about commercial break, let us all come together, all us that like to talk, and sponsor the show right out so you don't have to go to commercial break.
Right, yeah.
How about that?
Uh-huh, that's a good idea.
Well, I say, they should, Mr. Bush should just turn himself in for the shooting that happened in West Bay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only thing left for him charge him with.
Yeah, I was talking.
That'd be the only thing left for him to take him to court for.
I was talking to someone else, and they were talking about whether or not it is considered prosecutorial misconduct, and I think that person was calling for heads to roll as a result of it.
Yeah. Well, see, you heard what the officer said. The officer said he was told only to concentrate on Mr. Bush movement.
I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Yeah, and I think one of the ladies might have made mention that she was actually she wanted to find out why she was in court, and I think she made reference that she was actually forced or told, even though she didn't make an official complaint, So I don't know what kind of judicial system we have our the PP or what you call it. We need to get rid of all them. And they're the heads that need roll because I remember being in the police force. You don't take a case to court. What we would do, we would prepare a case file, send it to them, and they would rule whether it's a weak case or another, or it's a strong case.
Yeah.
And they would give us notes and say, well, go back and investigate this. You're weak in this area or something like that.
Yep.
So I don't know how they can allow a case to go to court. They think that the QCs that people will bring in is stupid or what? I'm not sure. But also, what I want to ask you, do you know who are responsible for removing the repatriation fee for foreign workers that here on work permit? Do you know who that was? Where that came about?
Well, the fee.
I'm coming across a lot of people who came on that one-way ticket because their permit has been approved. They're now allowed to travel to Cayman on a one-way ticket, right? But then a lot of people that are here, it's their fault, really, by not managing their funds properly. When they roll over or when they're ready to go home, a lot of them are going and getting time, extending their stay because they do not have a return ticket, especially people from far away don't have a return ticket. So if we had that repatriation fee still in place, we could kind of dig into that and get those people out of here.
Well, that repatriation fee, to a certain extent, for government was a two-edged sword. And the fee, the obligation is still on the employer to ensure the repatriation of their worker. That obligation is still there. It was entirely, it was extremely burdensome for the government when they collected that deposit, whether or not, and in the early days, they didn't hold it in any escrow account. It was commingled with with government's revenues, and then it would take a long time for the employers to get that repatriation money. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say, and I can say this because I worked on it for quite a while, that there were many employers who had money, who had deposits with government before government discontinued and just basically added the repatriation fee to the work permit fee, but still made the employer responsible for the repatriation of their employee. There are many employers who were out of pocket who never got their monies back from government, many. And they probably didn't complain about it because in those days, for Jamaica, I think it was like $150 or something like that. And for the United States, it was wasn't that much. We didn't have that many persons coming from the Pacific area and distant places. But the employer is still responsible for it. What government has done is government has removed itself from that altogether. Now, one of the big questions that has arisen in the past, and I'm not sure whether or not that has been resolved, when the repatriation fee was in place, that was to get a live body, a live person back to their country of origin. When, unfortunately, a person was deceased, of course, it cost more. And if it was government's responsibility, they only collected, the cost of an airfare. And you find sometimes repatriating a body is much more expensive than that. So from the government's standpoint, to me, it was a good thing getting rid of that. Now, when it comes to getting an extension because they need to get their ticket to return home, that's left to the discretion of CBC as to how much time they're going to give them, how many times they're going to extend it. That's to their discretion.
You just made mention that it's up it's the responsibility basically of the employer.
Mm-hmm.
So it should, after that first extension, then they should make reference to your employer and say, hey, we can't be we need to contact your employer
and put pressure on them. Yeah,
and put pressure on and make sure that he do what he has to do, because you got people running around here with 4 and 5 extensions, even though they're paying $100 for it, waiting to try and accumulate enough, which maybe they do have enough, but they just want to be on the island a little longer.
Game in the system, yeah.
Yeah, playing the system. So we should get on the employer and say, hey, you got to get your person out of here. Their time is up, and put some pressure on them if they're basically responsible, and stop, because see, the system is being played too many times and too often by too many people, too many different nationalities, and I don't know whether they're looking at us and think we're a bunch of handkerchief heads or what, because they get most of them are getting away with it, especially where the PR system is concerned. We need to make some drastic changes there really quick, because they're playing the system big time. We'll see. Yeah. All right,
Lord Graham.
I don't know if you got to go to a commercial break, but
you're gonna let me go, right? Okay, you take care. You take care.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
We have before I go to the commercial break, we have a birthday greeting here. This person says we would like to send birthday greetings to Raymond Mark Solomon. May God grant him as many more that he has ordained. Mark's birthday is today, the 1st of March. Greetings are coming from his family. And may God bless you abundantly, Mark. Mark Solomon, birthday greetings coming from your family. Folks, it's that time again. Let's take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. One of our listeners said, OC, I paid that repatriation fee for 62 expatriate workers in 18 years and never got a penny refund. And they say that most of their workers then were Filipinos, as well. Okay, we do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's Arden. Yes, you recognize that voice.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
O.C., I didn't hear all of Graham's contribution to his position on the DPP and this case with McKeever.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a position on it
Okay.
also. Now, I want to make it clear. I'm not defending McKeever Bush, or am I condoning inaction that he was alleged to have committed? I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That is not for me to decide innocence or guilt. That's not my job. However, like Justice John, I have serious concerns as to how this case came about and what eventually happened. As I think he posed the rhetorical question of would a right-minded citizen hearing the process used to have the defendant brought before the court not have serious concerns? Yes, we do. One of the things Graham said was that they must think that the KCs that come here are fools. Well, what about the peers of the citizens of this country who are accused of a crime? They think we are stupid? Well, let me tell the DPP we are not. Now, see, our jurisprudence is extremely important, that there is no question surrounding it, because their citizens are governed by that jurisprudence. When an incident approachment the law.
You're sort of breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you can change your location. You're on the WhatsApp number?
No, on the government number.
Landline. Okay.
Yeah. Well, see, every living person in this country should be concerned this morning that the judge could make such pronouncements that the court is concerned with the process. And I stress, and I quoting him, the process by which this decision to prosecute was made. Now, his ruling was very short, so we will have to wait for the full ruling where it will be more detailed.
Mm-hmm.
But we must question whether the DPP decided he was not going to disclose certain information from those victims or from the virtual complainant, because I believe there's one of those. Or, OC, if that DPP was influenced to bring this against McKeever. OC, this is a serious, serious matter. Now, I am going to be the first to call for this country to demand that DPP's removal, because obviously he does not understand his job, or he does not understand the authority he has.
Mm.
Our Constitution gives him absolute authority to the exclusion of all others, I think the phrase is, to prosecute or not to prosecute. So therefore, a high-profile case of this magnitude, must be reviewed by the DPP. And if that DPP insisted that that case go to court, and he or she, whomever it is now, I think as a he, withholds evidence that would exonerate that accused, then we cannot have him here. He has brought our jurisprudence into disrespect. Disrepute. And he needs to go now. I hope the governor's office is listening, because they usually do and then report to her or him. This is Arden McLean. And if you don't want to tell Arden McLean, Vincent Arden McLean, a former member of parliament, just tell her that I am calling for his removal. Now, if she don't do it, there is a way to do it. I am further then calling on the members of parliament. Forget about who this case was brought again. It was a citizen, albeit high-profile politician, long-standing politician. I don't want to intermingle that. I don't want to conflate those things. It is a citizen. You could be next. There is someone out there on the street that could be next.
And there may be some already that we don't know about, because those individuals don't have the wherewithal to make people aware of it as well.
And OC, the other option is bring one of you members, bring a motion of no confidence in the DPP. The DPP operates on its own. So too does the Commissioner of Police. And I brought a motion of no confidence in a police officer, a Commissioner of Police. It is time we stand up for justice in this country. I have listened. I have been beseeched. I have been coerced, whichever adjective you want to use, by lawyers in this country, good lawyers, about what is happening in the jurisprudence in this country, and the little small man out there on the street is getting destroyed, and we're making criminals out of them because of simple matters in our courts, because the prosecution is insisting that they be prosecuted, and it's turning them into criminals. I hope that's not the case, but there are too many instances of it being told to me that is happening. Or see, this is a serious matter. Forget about Mikiwa Bush. I don't want to hear about Mikiwa Bush. I want to hear about that citizen, that DPP office, well, it got to be him, tried to withhold evidence that would give this citizen a fair trial. Listen to me, OC. If we think this is not a serious matter, sit back, relax, and when it hits your doorstep, then we're going to cry. I've always said, OC, that Caymanians are too sympathetic with murder until it reaches their doorstep. And then they cry foul and want everybody to come defend them. Or see, if Caymanians do not stand up, we are headed down the wrong path. Forget about the tensions between Caymanians and expats. People are citizens, and everyone that resides here has a right. Even a rogue has a right to justice.
Question for you. Knowing the history of Mr. Bush and the British authorities, the British government politicians, Do you think that any call for a commission of inquiry to look into this would be heeded by, or the governor would be permitted to impanel a commission of inquiry to look into this?
Well, the only commission of inquiry that should be ordered is into what caused this process to go the way it did.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
However, let's step back to your thing about given the history of McKeever with the British.
Mm-hmm.
They will dismiss it, and they will not worry about it because he is he, and that is that. But rightfully, there needs to be an investigation into the DPP. More importantly, one of their members need, and McKeever needs to stay home, one of their members need to bring that to the floor of the Legislative Assembly and remove the DPP.
Or they could call, or they could bring a private member's motion to call for a commission of inquiry also.
No, that's prolonging the inevitable. Just remove the man, okay? Just remove the man, one fell swoop. All we ever do is what the late Benson Ebanks, God rest his soul, say, we wear our hearts on our sleeves too many times. Stop it now. If we do not stand up, this country is going to be ruined. OC, mark my word, I'm too old now to be able to, for anyone to stop my tongue. I am going to say it as I see it. Whether it's the governor or anyone else, it bothers Arden McLean not. All they can do is have a political prisoner in this country. It just so happens I'll be the first one, right? So I'll make history. But that's fine. I don't care. We need to arrest, pardon the pun, arrest this thing now. There are too many rumors of it. There are too many actual cases of it. And this is manifestations of all those rumors, OC. We need to arrest it now.
Okay, I'm going to ask. Go ahead, wrap it up for me so I can go to my commercial break.
Okay, I'm calling on all, as the judge say, right-minded citizens to call for the removal of the DPP, not yesterday, not tomorrow, today, now. Thank you, OC.
Thank you very much, caller. Folks, time for us to take that commercial break again. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Every day, thousands of us use our roads.
I drive to work.
My dad drives me to school.
I make deliveries across the island.
But with every journey comes responsibility. Our actions behind the wheel can have serious consequences, so let's make a commitment to safety. The Cayman Islands government invites you to take the Safe Drivers Pledge. The pledge is our opportunity to show our dedication to creating a safer environment on our roads.
Do it for your community.
For your loved ones.
For yourself.
Let's make our roads safer together and say no more for 2024. Visit www.gov.ky/road safety for more information and to take the pledge.
Live in Grand Cayman, One Love Concert Series presents One Love Legends of Reggae with the living legend himself, Ernie Smith. Saturday, March 2nd at Coral Beach, featuring artist Mr. Notch with Local Motion and Juggling by Sound Revolution. Purchase your tickets at eventpro.ky. Gates open at 6 p.m. Thanks to our sponsors, Cayman Airways, Caymanian Times, Bacardi, DOT, Ministry of Culture, Coca-Cola, Hello Cayman, and Youngblood Productions. Legends of Reggae, live in Grand Cayman, Saturday, March 2nd at Coral Beach, 6 p.m. Don't miss out on a living legend live here in Cayman.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Paul, any callers on hold? One caller. Okay, because I'm getting a few calls on my phone. Some people are having difficulty getting through, and I'm telling them to keep trying because we only have 2 lines. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Oates. For the record.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Not bad. Yeah.
I'm getting an echo, Doc, so you may want to turn your radio down a little bit.
Let me turn. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just say I concur with what Mr. McLean said.
Mm-hmm.
Art McLean. For the record, I have a situation also. The case of Dr. Dalton Watler. Dr. Dalton Watler was arrested about 2 years ago, and the case went to court. And after the Crown put on their case, we made a no case submission. And the Judge McDonald Bishop from Jamaica was the presiding judge hearing the case.
Mm-hmm.
After the Crown put on their case, we made a no case submission. And then she took time to write her judgment. And what she found was that there was this is what she said, there was not a scintilla of evidence to show, not even to prove, to show that Dr. Dalton was involved in any criminal activity. Not one, not even a trace of evidence to show that he was involved in any criminal activity. And she dismissed the case at that particular point in time on no case submission. Now, when the police went to Dr. Dalton's house, Dr. Dalton had $30,000 saved in his house in which he was going to buy an apartment, and he was saving it in U.S. dollars because he was buying an apartment in a different country.
Mm-hmm.
They use U.S. dollars. The police seized that money, say it was the proceeds of crime, and she found that he was not involved in any crime. There was no evidence to prove, none to prove. And in fact, after the case was over, Dr. Dalton was on leave with full pay from the government, because I think he's a deputy chief officer. And after the case was over, the government wrote him and told him to come back to work. We have been trying to get Dr. Dalton's money released from the court. Since then, we have written so many letters to the DPP's office. The Crown Counsellor was dealing with the case. He was waiting until he got the judgment from the courts to ascertain whether or not he would release the money.
Mm.
Well, they got the judgment, and the judgment was so harsh against him. And this is what the judge said: the prosecution, also similar to what this judge said about McKeever Bush, the prosecution of Dr. Dalton raises ethical questions. In other words, the ethical questions of why he was prosecuted,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
saying the fact that He had money in the bank. He was a chief officer. He had a monthly salary. It's not as if he was not working and he had this money in his house and
Right.
so forth. And so there was no evidence in which they could even charge him, much less put to a jury to convict him. There was no evidence he was mixed up in any illegal activities, and we cannot get that money released from those people up until today.
Mm-hmm. So who holds the money? Is it the police? The
money is
in the evidence room?
No, when the police take some money from you like that, it's
Mm-hmm.
the court. They have to lodge it in the court.
Okay.
Keeping.
Mm-hmm.
And it's them to release the money from the court. We have filed an application to hear the case in the court. And I think one of the clerks in the court told us that one of the magistrates said that he doesn't see any reason why it has to be a trial to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
All the Crown has to do is to say release the money back to the gentleman because the money belongs to him. They have no right to continue to hold the money, and not only that, but the time limit for them to apply for a forfeiture application is closed.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Mm-hmm.
they have so many years within which they can apply to forfeit the money. That has closed, and they're keeping the man's money and will not release the man's money.
And can they still apply for forfeiture even when he's been found not guilty?
Well, that's the whole thing. They have no right to apply for a forfeiture.
Right.
And so forth. But what the judge said found that the prosecution of Dr. Dalton raised ethical questions, and this keep happening to people all over, not only McKeever,
Mm-hmm.
but they keep happening to people all over. And when I didn't say anything about it, but when I saw the case unfolding, I said, why doesn't the judge throw this case out now? Because it should not go any further.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that we have a DPP department that really run roughshod other people's rights, and we've been writing to them, I've taken letters to them personally, and they refuse even to answer our request to release the man's money from the court.
Doug, I have a question for you that I'm sure would be of interest to our listening and viewing audience as well. Could the judge, and Mr. McLean says, or somebody said that the full judgment has not been released yet, but could the judge in any way refer these actions to any other authority?
Well, he could.
What has taken place? What is deemed to have taken place?
He has the power to do that. Yes, he has the power to refer it. I don't know who he's going to refer it to. Couldn't refer it to the DPP.
Mm-hmm.
I know in some cases when you go to court, like in civil matters, and you're hearing cases between parties, and something comes up that may be of a criminal in matter within the civil proceedings, that he can refer that to the criminal
Mm-hmm.
side and ask them to investigate it.
Mm-hmm. I suggested some commission of inquiry.
Well, he could probably send it to the I don't know who he's going to send it
Office of the Ombudsman, maybe?
to. Probably. But this is why we need a public defender's office.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A long time ago, we need a public defender's office who can take cases on behalf of the public. We need a public defender's office for these things. These things are going to continue because there are a lot of people in this country who does not think that we are the same as they are, and they do not have any obligations to. They don't think they have any obligations to us. That they are above the law and they can do whatever they want to do. And they take judges like the ones who come in like the judge in McKeever's case and Mrs. McDonald Bishop, who's a court of appeal judge in Jamaica,
yeah,
come down to do these things and so forth. And when you read that judgment of Dr. Dalton Watler. And in fact, after the case was dismissed against him on a no case submission, as I have said, the Crown wrote, his boss, the government wrote him and says, come back to work. Come back to work, and he's back to work now with them as a deputy chief officer. And we have not even had the respect from the Crown from the DPP to write us and say, we're looking into the matter, and that is how they treat us.
Mm-hmm.
And this will continue until the Caymanian people rise up and say, we've had enough. We've had enough, and hell no, we're not going to take this anymore.
Yep.
So McKeever case is not the only one also.
Very, 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 very interesting.
Dr. Dalton's money has been now 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
They have held that.
You may or may not want to answer this, but when we look at the office of the DPP, are we getting the creme de la creme as far as prosecutors are concerned?
Not really. Most of those people learned their trade here. Most of those people just came out of law school, maybe 1 or 2 years experience, and they came here to work. They learned their trade here. They're not seasoned prosecutors.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that they seem not to be able to I don't want to say the word, but they seem not to be able to understand that not only you are prosecuting the case, you have to present all the evidence, even evidence that you don't that is not for you. You have to give that to the other side too, because that is in the interest of justice, as Mr. McLean said.
Yep.
The interest of justice you can't hide facts that do not advance your case just to win your case, because that is not prosecuting, that's persecuting.
Yeah,
the matter.
I sent you something, I think it was yesterday, about a case in Oklahoma where a man spent either 40 or 50 years because the prosecution had withheld information, and he had the opportunity to be paroled, but he continued to say that he was innocent of the crime, and if he was to accept parole, he had to show contrition and everything else, and he knew that he didn't commit the crime. Eventually, after spending all of those years, decades in prison, he is out. And what is he likely to get for that? Something like $175,000. But he is suing the state of Oklahoma for hundreds of millions of dollars as a result of it. But they withheld information, in his particular case again. And, we continue to hear in prisons a lot of people say, I'm innocent. And of course, many of us, basically we ignore that because we say everybody says that. But there are many innocent people languishing in jails today. Doc?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Doc, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. Top of the hour. Headline news at 9 o'clock. We expect our guests in the studio soon. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, and right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
Cayman Academy students were scheduled to take to the streets this morning for an anti-vape march. This was in support of National Drug and Alcohol Facts Month. The event aimed to raise awareness about the dangers of vaping among Cayman's youth and advocate for healthier lifestyles. Several countries have joined the UN in calling for an investigation into the deaths of more than 100 Palestinians during an aid delivery in Gaza. At least 117 people were killed and more than 760 injured on Thursday as they crowded around aid trucks. The UN Secretary General condemned the incident and said, quote, desperate civilians need urgent help. Hamas accused Israel of firing at civilians, but Israel said most died in a crush after it fired warning shots. And U.S. President Joe Biden and Donald Trump have made competing visits to the U.S. border in Texas, each seeking to stress they can tackle illegal immigration. The issue is one of the most polarizing in U.S. politics and will be central to this year's presidential election. November's contest looks likely to be another showdown between the two men. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Still waiting for a guest. One of our listeners has written in and said, "Good morning, OC. I want to give Mr. Arden McLean a big shout out. I take my hat off to him. It's time we as Caymanians stop auditioning for free speech and stand up for justice by way of action." So I want to thank that listener, for that as well. Another listener wrote something, and I don't know, I'll try to see if I can parse it in a way, because you don't want to be accusing anyone of anything. But I thought that that the person wanted to know, they're wondering, it's a question, they're wondering whether or not the money is available, the $30,000 US is available for Dr. Macfield's client, or whether or not they have to get it changed back over to to US currency, because US currency is in such great demand, especially for those persons who are remitting funds to family and friends. So I don't know what they mean by that. Won't try to interpret it, but the big question is the money there? We heard when we asked Dr. Macfield, the money is held by the courts, and we hold our courts in high esteem. So hopefully, with Dr. Macfield airing that publicly, we will see some action in that regard. But if we need to look at the activities of our prosecutors, if that needs to be done, then let's go ahead and do it. Let's impanel a commission, call for a commission of inquiry to look into it. And at the same time, invite those persons who may have had issues to come forward as well. Yes, that will draw things out. Of course, Mr. McLean is asking for a vote of no confidence in our parliament, which would certainly be something that could take place much quicker, depending on when our parliament resumes, because when they ended a few days ago, Parliament was adjourned sine die, which means, at a date to be fixed at a later time. No specific date set, for that. Okay. We're going to go back to the leap year. I attempted to do that earlier, and of course, the calls from our listeners and our viewers were much more important. So let's look at the rules for leap year and how to calculate leap years. So this article says that in our modern day, the Gregorian calendar, three criteria must be taken into account to identify leap years. The three criteria there are: the year must be evenly divisible by 4. That is one criteria. The year must be evenly divisible by 4 in order for it to be a leap year. Also, the year is also evenly divisible by 400. Then it is a leap year as well. And it also says if the year can also be divided by 100, it is not a leap year. Then it goes on to say that according to these rules, the year 2000 and 2400 are leap years, while 1800, 1900, 2100, 2200, 2300, and 2500 are not leap years. The question as to why do we have leap years? Leap days keep our calendar in alignment with Earth's revolutions around the sun. And I'm sure those persons who are involved in astronomy will know more about this and will understand this more. It takes the Earth approximately 365.242,189 days, or more closely or accurately, 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 45 seconds to circle once around the sun. This is called a tropical year, and it starts on the March equinox. However, the Gregorian calendar has only 365 days in a year. If we don't add a leap day on February the 29th, almost every 4 years, each calendar year would begin about 6 hours earlier in relation to Earth's revolution around the sun. And they have provided an illustration of that. As a consequence, our time reckoning would slowly drift apart from the tropical year and get increasingly out of sync with the seasons. With a deviation of approximately 6 hours per year, the seasons would shift by about 24 calendar days within 100 years. Allow this to happen for a while, and Northern Hemisphere dwellers will be celebrating Christmas in the middle of summer in a matter of a few centuries. I guess this is why when we hear about the summer solstice, the longest day, and everything, that has something to do with this as well. So it goes on to say that leap days fix that error by giving Earth the additional time it needs to complete a full circle around the sun. To the question as to why do we add a leap day every 4 years? If the tropical year was precisely 6 hours longer than a calendar year with 365 days, we could use the Julian calendar, which adds a leap day every 4 years without exception. The deviation would grow to exactly 24 hours over 4 years, and Earth would need exactly 1 day to catch up to the position in the orbit where it was 4 years prior. However, the deviation between the common year and the tropical year is a little less than 6 hours. The Gregorian calendar addresses this by employing a slightly more complicated set of rules to determine which years are leap years. It's still not perfect, but the resulting deviation is very small. Then it talks about the special leap year in 2000. The year 2000 was the first time the third criterion was used. Remember what that third criterion is? The year must be evenly divisible by 400. It must be evenly divisible by 400. So the year 2000 was the first time the third criterion was used in most parts of the world since the transition from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, which began in 1582. The number 2000 is evenly divisible by 400, so it was a leap year, even though it can also be evenly divided by 100. Of course, the same can be said about the year 1600. However, only a handful of countries had adopted the Gregorian calendar then, and the rest of the world was still using the Julian calendar. The next time the third criterion takes effect will be the year 2400. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. We're very quickly. Who invented the leap year? Leap years in the Western calendar were first introduced over 2,000 years ago by Roman General Julius Caesar. The Julian calendar, which was named after him, has only one rule. Any year evenly divisible by 4 would be a leap year. Taking a commercial break. When we return, we will have guests in the studio. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Like I said earlier, I wasn't going to introduce the guest or say who the guest was until they actually got in the studio. Wanted to keep everyone in suspense. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Notch and to say good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
And it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me the iconic, the legendary Mr. Ernie Smith. And before I say good morning to him, I reminded him that in 1970, that would be what?
The year I was born.
54 years ago.
That's the year I was born.
I traveled to Jamaica. I had friends, Lloyd Willis and Ann Willis, who lived in the Cayman Islands. And of course, Lloyd was a guitarist, right?
Yes.
And I was going to Jamaica to get my green card, to be processed for my green card. Ann referred me to Ernie. I stayed at his house. They took me to Port Antonio, to a nice, place over there. Enjoyed myself as well. That
small
length
world.
of time, small world. So, Mr. Ernie Smith, good morning, sir. Welcome to For the Record. It is great to see you.
Good morning. It's so good to be back in the Cayman Islands, in Grand Cayman, in Georgetown. It's been so many times I've been here.
And you're loved in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, yes. It's like family. It's like second home to me.
Yes. And Mr. Notch, can you introduce our other guest?
The lovely Miss Claudette Bailey Smith.
Okay. Good morning. Okay, the mic is yours now.
All right. Really, thank you so much for having us at such a short notice. This has been something that I've wanted to do for a while, which is to come on the record. And yeah, for sure. A lot of people say that I got a lot to say, but I more have a lot to sing. So Youngblood Productions has been putting on events for 25 years now of in my time here. Some of the most memorable concerts that we've ever had in Cayman. I was showing Ernie a spot this morning where I had Barris Hammond at the Links at Safe Haven, where last night they witnessed a beautiful moonrise coming up over North Side, and I was showing them how I had the stage strategized out there by the Links. So this event on Saturday night at Coral Bay is going to be another one of those spectacular Youngblood production events. And I'm proud to be partnering with Monster Media. That's Kenny Rankin and Monster Media to put this event on. The One Love series started 5 years ago, and it kicked off with a bang with the Wailers and Itana, who is a new Jamaican songbird. And
she's not so new anymore.
She's super popular now, right?
Very good.
Awesome. It was a great show on the beach, and that's the kind of thing we're trying to bring back. We've noticed that Caymans are starting to kind of retreat away from the 7 Mile beach as the center of entertainment and activity. And that's something we want to bring back. If our people don't come out and support the things that they know as Cayman culture, and as Cayman heritage, then we will lose those things. So it's so important for all of us to come out and socialize together. Cayman can be bipartisan, and people can have strong opinions. This isn't the place or the time for that. The festival is called One Love. We're going to come out and we're going to enjoy some good reggae music, and we're just going to have a great time on 7 Mile Beach like we used to. Pardon my phone, but it never stops ringing. I wear a lot of hats as a singer and a promoter, and now I'm the driver and everything else. So you know how it is. As Bob Marley said once in an interview, he said, "Ask Neville Garrick, I work till my shoes wet." You know?
So, as an entertainer and as a producer and a promoter,
yes, sir.
When you look at the Cayman landscape now, and we hear people talk about the fact that our young people don't have anything to do, no entertainment.
Wow.
But the older people would say, well, the type of entertainers that we used to have before, we don't see as many of them. And when you do get, artists like the legend, Mr. Ernie Smith, coming to the Cayman Islands, persons my age feel, well, we're being catered to, we're being heard. People are even reluctant sometimes to go to events where there's likely to be, mixed age groups as opposed to their own age group. Can you comment on that?
It's unfortunate. As you're aware, I grew up singing in the 80s I grew up singing in the 80s on the scene when most of my peers, like Mr. Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks, would have been home doing their homework. So I grew up being exposed to both worlds.
Okay.
And I think it's sad to see what's happening in our country. I mean, in music in particular, because we used to have so many live bands, and we used to have so many options of venues and places to go in. And you are right, the entertainment was a lot more pure. It wasn't so skewed towards the influences that we have today. I've noticed that the dance hall music has really become similar to what the rap music was a decade ago, which now it's starting to really be disrespectful to the female sex and all these other things, So, it's unfortunate. I mean, your change is inevitable. I think we just need to do our part to make sure that we give people options so that certain things that are good can actually have a chance to thrive and stay alive. And that's really important, because this type of music, and I feel proud that it caters to an older, mature audience, because I would hate to envision a future where the experienced Caymanians are living their lives inside in the AC, watching Netflix, waiting for that final call, No, come out and
in the
listen
departure
to
lounge.
In the departure lounge, Come socialize and, and reminisce. And these things are important, and it's important to mental health. It's important to so many things that music can cure.
Yeah, Mrs. Smith, one of our listeners, want you to tell us, what you have been doing,
Mr. Smith.
And what are in your future plans in terms of entertainment, and what do you do now? Are you retired and just do certain gigs, or what?
Let's see, where how far do I go back?
It must be a duppy or a gunman.
What an awesome piece of shit.
Yes.
Let's see. 26 years ago, I married a lady that we went to school together.
Okay.
And she just one day just upped and left her job and said, "Look, I'm going to manage you." And it changed my career. It brought me back from practical obscurity to a time when everything was jumping again. And we released an album called After 30 Years, Life is Just for Living.
Yes.
A double CD. And we got married, and we traveled. We came here. We did a lot of things. We went Italy, Germany, France, England, all over the place and we did a lot of work with the Jamaica Tourist Board, and we reached a point where in 2020 she died, and if anybody had told me that I could be having so much fun at this time in my life, I'd never have believed, you know. 2 years ago, I met Claudette, and we got married, and on the 30th of June, 2023.
Got in trouble for forgetting that.
Yeah, that's serious. And we're now back, you know, doing some more music and having some more fun and taking it one day at a time. And we're trying to have a baby, but it's probably too soon after the wedding.
Would be a miracle. And don't go to Alabama to do it.
Is that Alabama?
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we see older artists. When I say older, not in terms of age, but in the era, as opposed and younger artists doing collaborations. Want to hear from you if you've done any collaboration with younger artists.
We're about to.
There are any plans to do so as well.
We're about to.
So, folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. We'll open up the phone lines as well if you have any questions for Mr. Ernie Smith or for Notch. Please call in. Our numbers are 949-6990 or WhatsApp number 925-3261. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Government school registration for the 2024-2025 academic year opens online on March 1st. Enrollment is based on a first-come, first-served basis with established priority categories. So please, register your child early to maximize your chances of getting them into a school within your catchment area. To learn more or register your child, please visit schools.edu.ky by June 30th. This message is brought to you by the Department of Education Services.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my great pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the iconic, the legendary Mr. Ernie Smith. Also in the studio, we have Notch, our own Caymanian, Mr. Notch, and we have Mrs. Smith in the studio, and we're going to bring her into the conversation as well. So she's managing you now as well, Mr. Ernie?
She's my road manager.
Your road manager, excellent. Yeah. Okay, welcome to For the Record, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning.
So we were talking off the air about the young artists, and of course we'll hear about any future collaboration or any past collaboration that may have taken place with young artists.
Yes, I honestly believe that young artists should learn something about the field instead of just putting music out there, singing. They also need to know the other side of the industry as far as how you manage yourself, how you write your music, because songwriting is important. It's just not putting out rhymes out there. It's addressing social issues, and it has to be said in a way that it's understood globally. So people like Ernie Smith, he's valuable, he's a gem, and I am just totally excited as his wife, as his confidant, as somebody who is there with him day in and day out, and to see his excitement knowing that he's going to be doing work out here and just doing his craft.
As his number one fan.
And yes.
Totally.
We have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Ernie. Oh, good morning, Mr. Connor. Ernie, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And John, good morning. And to Claudette. You don't know me yet, but you'll know me soon.
All right.
So I have a warning first for you, Claudette. Okay? Remember in Cayman, when you walk with Ernie, you have to walk 10 steps behind him. Because Ernie has a host of girlfriends. So please do not get jealous.
I am so accommodating. I will take their camera and take pictures. Yes.
Wonderful. As long as we clear the air with that. Okay, so Ernie, I'm coming back to you now. Ernie, you remember some years ago when you and the late Pluto Shervington were brought here by the Olympic Fundraising Committee. That's with, remember Betty Barrow? You were asking me about her.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, and we kept telling you that there was this person in Cayman that you reminded us so much of. Not so much in, facial features, but body language and mannerism.
Yeah.
And you know what? Today you're sitting right across from that man, Mr. Orrett Connor.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Connecting the dots. She's connecting the dots for a years-long conversation. I love it.
Everything in its own time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And of course, I'm not going to spoil the vibes by trying to sing my favorite song, but perhaps you do it for me. And I know Mr. Connor hasn't told you yet. Tomorrow is my birthday.
All right.
Actually, I was keeping that for a surprise, Brenda.
Oh, you see?
I was keeping that for a surprise.
I'm sorry. You know the lack of communication has caused wars, right?
You let everything out of the bag before having a chance to release mine.
You know what? Let's start over. Anyway, but Ernie knows my, I suppose I could say my very favorite song by him, although I love all of them, Sunday Morning Sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. And you hear that, voice? Anyway, I'm sure they're all, like the girls, they're probably all lined up wanting to speak to our Ernie. So did you hear that?
I heard that, and I'm so excited.
Okay. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful day, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling, Brenda.
Okay, Notch. Since we've taken all the surprises away from you.
No, seriously. I just want everybody to come out, Ernie deserves, I think, to have a really good appearance, a really good turnout because of the significance of his relationship with K-Man over the years. I must say that, I was trying my best. I hate to put a damper onto this conversation, but it's just reality. And we were talking about that last night. Pluto was actually supposed to be on this show.
Okay.
It's something that I had been trying to do for a while, and I'd finally gotten some headway into being able to add him on the show. And unfortunately, his untimely passing created a situation that couldn't happen. And that makes us so cognizant of the fact that every day is a day that you need to you need to take advantage of the opportunities and the things that are coming your way, And this is an opportunity for us as a country to come together and do something and show some solidarity and some unity, especially now when, there's so much else going on in Cayman. So hopefully, as Caymanians, you'll hear my voice, you'll hear the call, and you'll come out. Go buy your tickets, Funky Tangs. He asked me about Funky Tangs last night.
Yeah.
Is Funky Tangs still open? I was like, yeah, man, So, yeah, come on out. Go and get your tickets. Winner's Circle down at Coral Beach. I'm not certain there's a lot of VIP left, but that doesn't mean that, you shouldn't attend. So please come on out and let's rub some shoulders together and have a good time. My band, Local Motion, Jamich, the rest of the guys, we're rehearsed, we're ready to go with a full set. It's going to be an awesome night. Awesome night. I can't wait. But I know Ernie has some stuff he'd like to add, so
sure.
I want to take
Go right ahead.
Yeah. I've been coming here since 1970. And my God, I've been around. My first recording was 1967, and I've been coming here since 70. Okay. I started playing at the Royal Palm, which was La Fontaine
yes,
those days.
Right next door to where the venue is.
Yes. And I used to come here every single week for years, and I'm just looking forward to seeing so many old friends and learning, and I need to hear from the young people. My daddy used to play your songs every weekend.
I can attest to that.
I'm really needing that young connection in my life these days, and looking forward to this very much.
How much has Cayman changed since those early days when you were here, and is it for the better?
It's hard to tell.
If it's for the better or the change?
The change. Well, right now I'm just looking at the surface of things. I don't recognize anywhere. So many new roads, so many new places. It's hard to tell, what's going on in terms of attitudes and latitudes and gratitudes. But one day at a time.
I'm just excited that someone like Mr. Notch is really bridging the gap, because from my perspective, culture is important, and it seems a dying art nowadays, and especially with dancehall. Dancehall is great, but we need the kind of music that transcends countries, cultures. When somebody like Bob Marley can have this global effect, someone like Ernie Smith, also with his take on what happens around him, also needs to be heard. We also need to hear from the young people who have great ideas and a certain take on what is happening on society. And because Cayman is small, or Jamaica is small, does not mean that we cannot make a mark on the world as far as culture and music is concerned.
We already have a global reach.
Yes.
And a global impact, right? And, I remember when Caymanians used to come to Jamaica to get some work, right? Cayman was a dependency of Jamaica. Or judges used to come here to try cases, things like that. We were a lot closer, in those days. And we want to know that, that closeness and that political correctness that kept us all together will continue to go and grow,
Yep. Speaking of that, in the 60s, 50s and 60s as well, many Caymanians went to Jamaica to get married. I have access to all newspapers. As a matter of fact, my sister, Annis Smith, and her husband, Ellery, they were married in Jamaica. And Mike Simmons, was the best man, and there was a Jamaican young lady, who was the bridesmaid for her wedding, and the picture is up in her house now with that. But many Caymanians went to Jamaica to get married.
Yeah,
and there was
the Cayman Compass still around?
The Cayman Compass is still around. Different version of it. As a matter of fact, they changed the name. We used to call it the Caymanian Compass. Now they renamed it the Cayman Compass. And they just made the headlines again as well to a certain extent. These days, many of the publishers, newspapers, they want you to subscribe to them. So you pay a yearly subscription to be able to access them online. That didn't go over quite well in the Cayman Islands for them. And after 4 years, they have abandoned that, and it is now free online as well. We're going to take our last commercial break, folks. When we return, the conversation with Mr. Ernie Smith will continue. If you want to call in and say hello, we'll have about 12 minutes. When we return, don't want any of you to complain and say I cut you off at the last minute, because we're only going until 10 o'clock. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Hello, my beautiful Caymanian women. I'm Eliane Powry, your Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2023. Ladies, are you ready to embark on an extraordinary adventure? Recruitment is now open for women 18 and older, married, or with children. But hurry, our deadline for applications is March the 8th. Don't miss out on the chance of a lifetime. Explore a world of opportunities that await you. Visit MissCaymanIslandsUniverse.com to begin your journey today. Trust me, it's a journey you won't want to miss.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Mr. Ernie Smith, his wife, as well as Notch. And just want to say that Mr. Denston Tibbetts wants to wish his brother, Mr. Kurt Tibbetts, a happy birthday as well today. And then, Mr. Smith, we have a message here for you.
Denston, I hope you come to the show, you and Kurt. Sorry.
Says, good morning. I'm listening to your program. Mr. Ernest Smith is a relative, and I've been trying to catch him whenever he's in Cayman, but keep missing him. Please pass on my number. She says, I am the granddaughter of Ivanhoe Irving. His daughter, Claire Irving Jackson, is my mom. This is a surprise. And I'll give you the number. I wouldn't read it on air, but I'll give you all of that information. But she says she is a relative of yours, and she's been trying to catch up with you every time. But I guess it's like the caller, Miss Archer said, everybody's lining up to see you, so she she couldn't catch up with you. You're moving so fast as well. Back over to you, folks. The mic is yours.
I gotta tell people this. Ram Goat Liver was written by Pluto Shervington. It was not written by Ernest Smith, but Ernest Smith is the one who almost killed a ram goat. Driving through St. Thomas, and the goat run across the road and I step on the brakes. And a man sit down by the side of the road, said, boy, I'm sure that dead me could buy a pound of rice.
Only in Jamaica you would hear something like that.
I gave the idea. All I did was give him the idea. He wrote the song.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I've been blamed for this song for so long. I just need to clear the air. No other man needs to have his what's that word? His
notoriety.
His due. Give him his due.
Yes.
I was just telling a story about the first time I sang in public, and it was at the Royal Palms to Pluto Shervington. Ruby's Beauty Salon was upstairs at Royal Palms.
Okay, yeah.
And my mom was there doing her hair. And I was there as a kid running around, with Ruby's kids and other mom's children. And I knew what he looked like because my dad had the album. He had your album too. And I knew all the songs as a kid, and I sang them to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Out comes Pluto out of a car, pulled up at the front of Royal Palms. And I shout down to him, Pluto Shervington, I can sing your song better than you. And he shouts up, he looks up at me and says, yeah, sing it then. Because he stuttered. I used to stutter really badly, and I started singing the song. And he was there with members of Byron Lee and the Dragonaires who were performing at Royal Palms. And they were standing up saying, that you bad man. And, so that gave me so much confidence. And after that, it was I started looking at my dad and saying, so my father's a singer. I think I can become a singer. And it just, from then, it caught on. But he was the first person I ever sang to in public.
Okay.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
Absolutely.
Okay. So before we close out, we still have about 9 minutes left, but you want to remind our audience about the event?
The event is on Saturday. It's at Coral Beach. That is the former Coral Caymanian Hotel. For those of you who have forgotten the old landscape of Cayman, it's that property that had the big lawn on the front next to Royal Palms. They used to have a Miss Cayman there a couple of years until we had some untoward things happen there. But now it's covered the front of it is covered by the tunnel, so you won't be able to see it from the road. But you have to go into Royal Palms entrance and turn right. All right. Coral Beach, gates open at 8 p.m. Pluto will be there. Myself. Sorry. I was talking about Pluto. Pluto will be there in spirit.
Yes.
He will be there in spirit, for sure. Myself and Ernie will be there. The tickets can be bought at Winner's Circle, Funky Tangs, and at Coral Beach if you go today. I don't think they'll have tickets on sale at the venue tomorrow while we're setting up. What else needs to be said about this event? Oh, online, you can get your tickets at eventpro.ky. I think that's the address. It's either Event Pro or Events Pro. I'd like to shout out to Cayman Airways for your support. I'd like to shout out to DJ Ralph and the Caymanian Times for your support. And also, tonight, we're going to have a meet and greet. So for all those you lady fans, you'll have an opportunity to come out and see Pluto early, but make sure you get your tickets for the show. Pluto will be at Hail the Man, which will be at Welly's Cool Spot.
Ernie will be at.
Ernie will be at. Oh, my mind.
Yeah.
I hardly slept last night. You know that.
Yeah.
The flight was delayed, but yeah. So yes, Ernie will be Hail the Man. Ernie Smith, the legendary Ernie Smith, will be at Welly's tonight at about 9 p.m. You can come and you can meet and greet Mr. Ernie Smith, and also he will be performing on Saturday at Coral Beach, which is the former Coral Caymanian Hotel next to Royal Palms. And myself and my band will be there.
I could give a shout out to Larry, Freddie, Lana.
Oh, yeah, Kayaso.
Dave Guilfoyle, Dave and Christine Guilfoyle.
Go
ahead, you can
Clara Fay.
Clara Fay. John Henry.
I'd like to.
It's too many.
Too many, yes. As you remember them, give them the big shout out.
I remember everybody.
You mentioned Cayman Airways, and I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to Marilyn at the airport yesterday.
Oh, Marilyn Phillips.
Oh,
yes,
my
yes.
goodness.
So
that lady
she
was
is our
just
ambassador.
so energized.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes,
the kind of regard she extended to us.
We
to
love you,
make
Marilyn.
our trip so very accommodating and sweet. And her overall attitude it was just pure life.
True Caymanian, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we know that Jamaica had its Air Jamaica. Well, the way that Caymanians feel, you can travel abroad wherever you go, and every Caymanian will tell you when they reach Miami and they get to the Cayman Airways check-in counter. When they get to the Cayman Airways check-in counter, they feel at home. Yeah. They feel like they're right back in Cayman.
Yes.
And that is something that we need to continue to maintain. Ms. Smith, you talk about, culture and retaining it. That is a part of our culture. Yes. Okay. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm so glad that you mentioned that as well. Yeah.
Under the stars is a beautiful moon rising. Come out on Saturday. The weather's good. There's no excuse. It's going to be 81 degrees. Nice and breezy. Come out, put your toes in the sand, enjoy yourself. Have a, what do you say? Sip your waters.
Sip your waters, love your daughter, and
love
play
the music sweet. That's it. that I copied your line. That still applies.
Right.
Absolutely.
You want to share any of your future plans, with us, Mr. Ernie?
Well, day by day, I'm getting more work. I mean, COVID put a wrench in the whole of life.
Yes.
Almost like the whole of humanity. But day by day, I'm getting more work, and I've just connected with Joanna Marie, my manager out of Miami, and we're taking a long worldwide look at what is going on and where we're going to take our path.
And shout out to Inner Circle.
And shout out to Monty and Roger Lewis from Inner
Tusa.
Circle. Yeah.
So you think you may be doing some type of world tour or something like that? It is fascinating how music, Jamaican music, reggae, and everything else is so popular throughout the world. Places like Japan, Israel,
reggae,
and Germany, and all those
reggae
places.
music is the leading international genre of the Caribbean, by far the most influential. And I'm proud to say it comes from the Western Caribbean.
Yes,
the Caribbean has loads of genres. Like America has loads of genres, and there's no disrespect to any of them, but here in Cayman, what's most natural for us, talking about that old synergy between Cayman and Jamaica, is reggae music.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I chose to be a reggae singer instead of being a soca singer, was because it's more natural to my environment. I mean, I grew up with my father being a soca singer, and I was always, well, no, I can't outdo you, but I can do this.
I remember talking to Henry Banks a long time
John
ago.
Henry, yes.
And asking him, I need to know what is the genre belonging to Cayman, what came out of here. And I tell him, go talk to your old people, find out what they used to sing. When
the same mento, it's the same mento, the
Yeah.
kitchen and stuff,
Yes.
and that's where reggae comes from. And ironically, and I had this conversation just the other day talking with Jamich. We were talking about the fact that the drum pattern to original calypso, which used to be a lot of social commentary,
All right.
is the same drum pattern that is now being used for dance hall.
Yeah.
The only difference is that dancehall isn't as much geared towards social commentary, but the groove is the same.
The groove is the same.
So we were getting off in the Caribbean. We were getting off on that groove from a long time.
A long time ago.
But we were just expressing something more real instead of what we have now, which is basically just talking about, some different subject matter that is most the materialism, or
There are some good young people coming.
Good to know.
playing
Yeah, I shouldn't generalize that, because there are exceptions to every rule.
Yeah. I want to give, before we close off, I want to give all of you an opportunity for some closing comments, starting with you, Mrs. Smith.
I'm excited. Being married to Ernie Smith is a dimension to my life that I never saw coming. I was minding my own business, and there was this man. And believe me, truthfully, every day we have music in the house, and it transcends reggae, it transcends spirituality. We have a hymn that we use as a prayer.
I really wasn't looking for anybody after Janet died, but there she was. And in no time at all, there we were. And it's been a wonderful trip.
Thanks, Cayman, for having us here.
Great. Notch.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Come on out. It's tonight at Owelli's, Hail the Man, and tomorrow night, One Love. That's Saturday, One Love, Coral Beach. Gates open at 8. Make sure you're there. Ernie Smith, Mr. Notch, Local Motion in full effect.
Okay. One of our listeners wanted to know whether or not you have any CDs.
You see, the industry is in such a state of flux, because who plays CDs anymore?
A lot of people still do.
It's one of the things we're looking at. We have a lot of the music on YouTube and places like that, but CDs, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you hear the background music here. The music playing. Well, I want to thank all of you. I know it's going to be a good show, and it's going to be
see you there.
Well attended as well. I want to thank all of those persons who called in this morning throughout the show. Urge you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Jordan Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
And now, Barbados.
And Digicel, Cayman's bigger,